Conversations with halos is kind of tilted. The foundation is strong because Jehovah built it. You can feel the spirit and positive energy. Questions asked comfortably like you're talking with family. Get ready to settle in. Wait for the show to begin. Invite a couple of friends. It's time for Unhinged.
Watch me. I introduce to you Get You Home Towing, a family company with the sole purpose to get you home. Whether you need roadside assistance or transport services, we have a flatbed big enough to transport any vehicle to its destination. Our offer to you is our gratitude and great service at a much cheaper price. We are also open to transport through long distances. If you need us, all you have to do is call that number. I'll see you soon.
Hey, y'all. How y'all doing? Y'all all right? I mean, what's really going on? Thank you so much for tuning in. You are tuned in to Unhinged Live. I'm your host, Nikita Tilted Halo Hansford, sitting alongside my very, very, very good girlfriend, Karen Sims Harrell. See, I'm trying to say it with a different accent because I say things differently. Karen Sims Harrell of Twisted Threads LLC. Y'all already know what it is. We got wisdom in the building on tonight. I get excited when we have different guests here on the conversation. And I've already spoken to her pre-show and I let her know I'm here for the wisdom on tonight. But you already know what it is. I want to go ahead and say welcome, welcome, welcome to all of you who are joining us live on tonight. And for those of you who are going to join us on the replay, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate your support. Let me go ahead and get you familiarized with how things are going to go down on tonight's show. Of course, you know we're going to have an amazing guest interview on this evening. We're going to share a couple of views from the Petty Pew. We're going to take a trip merrily down the stream and get into it. That round table conversation. What's really going on? And of course, we are going to get served some spiritual nourishment by our very own in-house master life coach herself, Coach Cash, Karen Sims Harrell of Twisted Threads LLC. So before we get into it, because you know, I'm excited about tonight's guest. Before we get into it, I want to go ahead and say, Karen, how you been, boo? You all right?
I am all right. Thank you for asking. Number one, I appreciate that. It's good to be back in the building, as we would say, if we were physically together. But I'm doing all right, and I'm glad that we have this opportunity today to, one, connect, be able to check in with our peeps to see how y'all doing. Go ahead and make some noise in these comment streets so we know where you're coming from and what's going on, what's really going on with you. But I'm doing okay on this Tuesday. You know, the weather's been acting fine, reminding us that we're getting closer to springtime. Come on now. Getting closer to springtime, and we get to maybe start making some plans to go outside, all of the things. So we doing it all. Mm-hmm. So now I got to turn it around and ask, how are you doing?
Girl, I stand amazed at God's goodness towards you. Girl, it's all I have to say on this evening. Those of you who've been hanging out, y'all already know I've been in these streets already. Let it get a little bit warm outside. Let somebody call my name and offer me the opportunity to share one of my many talents within the community. I had the awesome opportunity to model in a fundraising event that was held at the Bank Street Annex. It was actually sponsored by Seth & Co., a company that actually has a small coffee shop that employs some very, very exceptional human beings. And I tell you, my heart was so full after watching each and every one of those superstars serve on the runway, honey. Those young adults served, and the energy was so awesome in the place. I'm sure you going around there, as a good friend of mine says, about broke the internet by posting that picture of myself in that there purple dress. I'm giving you a look, see as to, you know, how God had blessed me in my build up. But let me get up off of that. Because we got guests tonight and I don't want to delay the hour. I want to take and enjoy every moment in conversation with this sister queen. Before we go into the super fan shout out on tonight, I want to go ahead and say, hey, how y'all doing? To our Mental Impact Radio family. We want to say thank you again to our brothers Orlando Page and Bertie Bertram McKinney for the awesome opportunities you all have presented us. And I'm excited about some big announcements that are going to be coming out really soon about the work that we'll continue to do together to build the kingdom outside of the four walls. So, Karen, I'm sorry. Our guest is here. I don't want to leave it out there. It's spring. It's not still winter and not quite catch a cold, so I got to get her in here real quick. But before I get into it, I gotta give out this shout out. Can I get a drum roll, Karen?
No, let's get right on it.
Listen, this week's super fan out shout out goes to our sister friend herself, the Phenom. Okay, who had me rocking the runway not one but 2 weekends in a row, y'all. Tonight's super fan shout out goes to our very own sister queen, Shelby Lawson of Lawson Accessories. Listen, we started a crochet ministry. That's right, clap it up because she's worthy of it. We started a crochet ministry together at our local faith community. And it was just a God move. We sat in the room and we got to know one another. We would make special time to break bread to make sure that we were sharing the same vision and how to carry it through as we were supporting our ministry's homeless shelter initiative during that season in our lives. Well, what ended up happening was, you know, God's windows started to open and trickle blessings down on our gifts, and we went our separate ways. And look at me now, and look at the great things that you yourself are doing, Shelby. Shelby, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, and I appreciate your laughter. I appreciate your authenticity. I appreciate your swag and your style and the way you made me look. Baby, I felt like I was being represented to the world wearing the garments that you created specifically for me to share your gift to the audiences I had the privilege to serve, baby. So here's to you, Shelby. We love you and we pray God's choice blessings continue to be yours today and for always. So look, let's let her in. Let's let her in.
All right.
In the room, Karen. This queen is like family.
Yes.
To you. So I gotta yield to you to give the intro of our guest on this evening.
Listen, she's already a part of the tribe family, literally through the DNA and through birth. It is our Miss Aretha Pugh-Robinson. Yes, y'all know the name from one of our tribe mates, Rashim Kilo Pugh, all the things. And, you know, I always tease them. I'd be like, I got to call you the name your mama named you. I don't know about all of the other names that the streets, they give us another name sometimes. And we can answer to him. It's okay. But he know, I call him by the name that his mama named him. But such a powerful woman that I've had the opportunity to grow up alongside her family in many things. Her niece and I graduated the same year from high school. We all was cutting up and running in them streets. Some of us stayed out of trouble. Some of us got into trouble, but it wasn't because the lack of wisdom wasn't there. Like, we literally had to turn the volume down. And so I'm excited to present to you all Miss Aretha Pugh-Robinson, because listen, we about to have a good time right now. Miss Aretha, welcome.
Yes, ma'am.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
I
appreciate your thoughtfulness towards me and how you sought me out, Karen. Although I enjoy speaking, teaching, and training, this is a different world for me. Being on video is very different. And so here I am. I decide to face the fear and do it anyway. So
I
let's
love
see
it.
where we're going this evening.
For y'all who know me, y'all know that I'm a little spoiled, and Miss Aretha one, she gonna let me have my way she already let me have my way by saying yes, and we had that conversation. She's like, now Karen, like I promise. The name was called a couple of times, but when you get good people around you and you just know that their energy is a blessing, like literally, you can't keep that to yourself. Some of y'all do. Y'all keep the good people to yourself. But when you really understand what's really going on, you start to share that, because when I am able to make space with Miss Aretha, there's always that Joy Tsunami that we talk about here. Yeah. There's always that opportunity to grab our passports and it's not always that we're going to international worlds, but there's a groundedness, Miss Aretha, that you always remind me about the importance of family.
Thank you.
About the importance of strength in motherhood. Because we ain't gonna say raising boys is a different situation, but there may or may not be some scars that nobody know about. That's all I can say for that. Or some tears that might have been cried. And motherhood is a challenging thing altogether. But I want to give an opportunity, Miss Aretha, for you just to share a little bit about yourself, your upbringing. For those of you who don't know you as much as I know you, and I'm hoping I might learn something new too, because I always do. When we are in conversation, I always learn something else about you. But if you could share with our audience, a little bit about yourself, your upbringing, and a little bit about your family connections too.
Okay, well, I am number 10 of 12. My mother blessed me with many sisters and brothers. That's why when we used to get the whoopings about going to school, not looking for friends, you had family. That's what my mother would say. You go to school to learn, not to scoop up friends. You don't need any friends. You got sisters and brothers, okay? Now, I must admit, I was the informant. I was the informant of the family. However, you have to understand, when you take on such a role, there are consequences that come with that. Okay? So this is why, even today, I can take a licking and keep on ticking. And when I'm talking about a licking, it went from getting beat up as a child to being challenged intellectually as an adult.
Wow.
So you have to learn how to not give up. And that taught me how not to give up. My brothers, during that time, let me just say, my mother was a strong woman. And you hear people say that all the time. And they mean it, because what they're likened to is what your parents went through. My mother had 12 children, and we were poor. Okay? We had no idea we were poor, because we had so much love. We had so much playtime. We were out playing kickball and basketball and every other kind of ball, and riding old tricycles that were rusted. We didn't have time to think about stuff. We were raised in love. My mother, though she found solace in drinking, she was one of those alcoholics that I don't care what she was feeling. She knew what was going on in her home. If you bought an ink pen that she didn't give you, she knew it was in the house. I don't know how she knew it, but she did. For me, my sisters, they taught us that we were family. I had brothers, I think it was maybe 4 brothers during that time, because my mother had so many children. And actually, there was a time, Karen, when my mother was paralyzed on her left side.
Wow.
Okay. So she overcome it. She got the use of that side. But my aunts would take the boys. They would come and take the boys. So I had a brother that grew up in Georgia, 2 brothers, actually. They lived in the same community, one with their grandmother, one with their aunt. They had no idea they were brothers. They looked alike, but one was light-skinned like my mom and brown-skinned like the dad, okay? Then I had a brother that was raised in Jacksonville, Florida, okay? Then I had a brother that grew up with us. because we were a mixed bag.
Yeah.
There was 8 of us that had the same dad. So we got to keep Bobby, and trust and believe, rotten to the core and bad as they get. Okay. And what was so funny is that we had a family of several ministers came out of that. Now I had Rasheem, my heart, I was pregnant at 15. And I don't know if you would call me fast, because it wasn't that I was moving around. It was just that I was ignorant of what happens when you do those things. And so I went to school at that time. If you were pregnant, you were put out of school. You didn't go to school with everybody else. So I knew how to suffer in silence because I refused to be put out. And the goodness, even in your mess, God will hold on to you.
Yes, he
the
will.
Goodness was Rasheem never popped out the front. I carried him in my hips. So you knew I was getting fatter, but you couldn't tell I was really pregnant. Okay. So I suffered every day. I had him in June. The school at that time, we lived in the projects. Everybody from the school came to my house to see Rasheem because they refused to believe that I was pregnant. All right.
Look at that.
That's right.
In July, I had Rasheem. September, I was back in school.
Yeah.
All right. So my mother taught me how to be a mother to Rasheem. She didn't take on the role. She only watched Rasheem when I was at work. I had to be working, not out playing. And she let me go out every now and then. But even when I went out, guess what? You're going to get your behind up at 6 o'clock in the morning, because you better have the babies outside getting fresh air at 7 a.m.
Wow.
So we were taught discipline. We were taught putting children on a schedule. All right. So as I grew up, I could never understand how people could do so much and get away with it. See, the world that I was in, there was consequences to everything you did. I mean, everything. When I went and told on Bobby and Robin about how bad they were and what they were doing, I would come up the stairs. The consequences was, at the time we lived in a house. You see my baby Thumbelina like this up in the corner. They done cut her open, child. Okay. Tore the doll up. Consequences, yes.
Stitches get stitches.
Stitches. Even they doll babies get stitches.
You hear me? They knew how to go after what you loved, okay?
They said
we can't get your behind because you're sitting under mommy, but we know what you love. And there was Thumbelina at the top of the stairs.
Oh, Lord.
So
Thumbelina.
Said, I know you were tattletale. I said, and I was proud about it. I really was. Because you learn that you got to stick with the boss. Mommy was the boss. You understand me?
I do.
You knew the game early. You knew the game early.
Do you hear me? And I played it well. Yes, I did.
I love it.
I thank God for it. And as we grew older, we grew closer together. And you know what? It was interesting. There's 6 girls. And it's like we're teamed up. Me and Rosita were tight. Madeline and Robin, tight. Gloria and Dolly, the 2 oldest, tight. And so in May, I lost my sister, who I was tight with. And she was like my sister mommy, because it didn't matter what happened to me, what I went through, she was there for me. And she had no problem telling me off. And then she was so wonderful. She'd tell you off. I mean, really tell me off. And when she got finished, she said, "Love you." I said, "I ain't feeling no love." You understand me? But when she said that, it meant, go do what I say do, Retha. I'm telling you, if you don't do this, you don't want to have to pay the piper for what you get ready to do.
Yeah.
So the sisterhood came together and we enjoyed being in each other's company so much, we decided to come up with what we call Sister Weekend.
Love it.
So we would plan Sister Weekend. I don't know how often we did it. Maybe it was every 4 or 5 months. It got so good, we ended up with Sister Week. All right. Yes. I mean, we didn't go to Africa and all over the country. We stayed in the US of A. But there was nowhere we would go that people were just ecstatic about the love that we exuded.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we had our fights now. People want to have a sister. You better get some tough skin to have a sister.
Well,
Okay. Because it's not all fun and games. When we used to go on the sister weekend, I love writing. I love poetry. I would be on the plane, right? And I'd be writing. One of my sisters done ticked me off. And I'd be like, dear God, if this is what Sister Weekend is about, I don't want no more Sister Weekend. I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy. But we made it through.
now, Miss Aretha, I want to ask you something because, you know, one of the things that we're big on here, and Tilted and I, you know, we talk about this all the time, our sister friendship and the gift of sisterhood.
Okay.
And you know that I always tell you that's one of the things that I admired about you, like family being tight. But y'all sisters, yeah, whatever fighting y'all ever did, when y'all come together, it's two things I know for sure: don't mess with none of y'all, and don't mess with none of their babies. So there was two things. So it didn't matter whether it was mommy or auntie.
Yes.
It was always, oh no, this hour's right here.
That's
and I want to expand a little bit on what you said about the importance of that sisterhood. Can you talk about even with the pairing of, you know, of your paired sister, but overall the importance of kind of how did you all instill that in yourselves as well as in your children to say and show how important family and sisterhood specifically would be for you all?
You've heard the old adage, children don't hear what you say more than they watch what you do. We showed them more love than we told them about.
Love it.
They saw our love. We made sure when we were doing things that we were inclusive about whatever we did.
Mm-hmm.
We called each other and we talked, and sometimes you knew not to tell this one that anything because she was going to tell everybody. So you start segmenting who you would tell what to. But when anything hit the fan, and when I say hit the fan, if there's trouble in the relationships, you and your husband, one of us showing up. And usually I got in trouble because if you going to hit my sister, I'm jumping on you. Now, I wasn't a fighter. I was a little skinny something, but my mother was abused. And I felt that my mother had enough abuse for every woman in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And so as I get older, I've heard people tell me, you know, men in particular, you got issues with men, don't you? I said, I guess that therapy didn't help all the way, huh? But the thing is, we live and we learn.
Yeah.
The point is, I'm going to rise up when certain things come. It's just in me. And so with the sisterhood, we talk about stuff. We get mad. Yeah, we get mad. I mean, one time I got so mad, I didn't talk to my sisters for almost a year. And they were calling me and writing me letters and all. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to deal with them. I'm not going to deal with them. But then you hear the voice of our mother saying, that's family. But see, even when I wasn't talking, somebody could call me and say, so-and-so is going on with such and such, and I'm coming to the table, just like they come to the table. My sisters come to the table when anything is happening with me. They do not get silent, okay? That's how we do it. It's just like when you go to work, you know, in the day, they would say, leave your problems home, don't bring them to work. Yes. That's how we dealt. Okay? When we had problems, nothing else mattered. We got to come to the table. If we needed $500, okay, it's 6 of us. How we going to do this? If we would go away, I had one sister, Robin. Well, she don't care if I say her name. She used to have a joke, but it really wasn't a joke. From every sister, you would learn something different, okay? Like for Ruby, my sister Ruby, the second eldest, she was just a lady. All I wanted to be was a lady. Dolly would talk, and she said, hi, Karen, how are you? How are you, Nikita? And if one of you were wrong, she said, I don't believe I'm going to deal with that. Watch it, because she always talks, but she always carried a big stick. She was always a lady. Gloria, she was the family. She got married when I was 2 years old. Wow. She was the one that taught you about taking care of your home and cooking. Ooh, she made fried chicken, and she show you how to make fried chicken, and then take that fried chicken and everything that she did, and she buy her home. She do investing. Robin, now Robin, whoo, she could squeeze. Oh my goodness. Robin was very strategic about her life. She's the type that if she's got school tomorrow, she's going to try on the whole outfit that night to make sure it works. She's going to watch every dime, okay? But Robin was the one that taught me it doesn't matter how much you make, it's what you do with what you make.
I love it.
Okay? While I'm making all the money driving used cars, Robin's driving a brand new Passat. You hear what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. Madeline, full of love. Madeline taught me how to love. And she was very stylish with her little slingbacks and all. I mean, Robin, she's stylish too. She had that eclectic kind of look. We all had a different style. Gloria liked to look like she was just a conservative, beautiful woman that looked just like my mother. Now, Rosita, when Rosita entered the room, everybody stopped. She was the most classy, stylish, beautiful one. I'm telling you.
Love it.
Okay. So we all had a different lifestyle, but yet we understood. You got to be still and know. As we grow up now, sometimes you start getting a little petty, you know, because you don't like certain things that's going on in your life and you feel like you're too old to change it. Like you don't like it, change it.
Yes.
But the thing is this. When we come to the table, I say this all the time. You know, in the Bible, it tells you how Jesus met people where they were. We got to learn how to meet people where they are.
Yeah.
And know that God's going to do the changing, not you.
Ooh, yes.
And if they can hear from you, you can make suggestions, but know that it is merely that, a suggestion. So that way, if they don't change, you don't take it personal.
I love it. You giving all of the nuggets tonight, you know, and for those who don't know, Tilted, you understand better why I said this one. We got to bring Miss Aretha on and let her be introduced to the tribe. You know, Miss Aretha, one of the things that, you know, and I'm taking this from a spot of just really getting a glimpse of what you said. So I love the expressions that you shared about your sisters, about your family, and the hardships that might have been labeled a hardship outside, but all y'all knew was y'all was in a loving family. This was what y'all did. Y'all grew up with resilience and strength and understanding, you know, we get things done. Everybody doing something different. But one of the things that I find, and I can't use another word but impressive about you, is that you are always trying to not just give back to the community, but specifically educate in some type of way. Like you, I know we've had the conversations about the cursive writing and how do we bring it back? And what are those sort of, and they might be labeled traditional, but what are those skill sets? Can you talk to us just a little bit about how your love of learning has grown and your love of community? Because you're tight with the family, but you really are a community-minded individual, as you know, you have talked. We've talked about business and just different ventures and aspirations that you had.
Well, since I was 15 years old, my brother Bobby, who is Robin's twin, I would read everything he read because he would read so many good books. My main book that I would read was Og Mandino's The University of Success. In that book, it has so many different motivational speakers. I still have it. Pages are yellow, binder tore up, but I still have it in plastic. I would read and apply immediately whatever I read. Community was always in me. I started working for corporate 2 months after I had Rashim. They were sending people down to work for New Jersey Bell at the time. And in corporate America, there was a person that saw in me what I did not see in myself. Because I had Rashim at a young age, she felt that I need to go out to the high schools to speak to the ninth graders. New Jersey Bell sent me out, and I talked to them under what was called Choices Program. And I would love to wrap that up and take it back out there, because what we did, we brought newspapers. Well, everything's digital now, but we would bring things out there, and I would say, listen, who's sick and tired of their parents and who wants to move out? And they'd be, I said, okay, well, let's get out of there. Now, how you going to do this? So we would start looking for jobs. I said, well, what about taxes? So it would give me an opportunity to go through it all, so that they would have a full understanding of what they're really doing, okay? And what they're up against. And I would bring the fake money and everything. I also was part of Famous Amos literacy program. My problem is I get too involved. If I'm going to the library, it's wintertime, and I'm passing Janet, and she's on the bus stop. Now, Janet is who I'm getting ready to go teach. She's there with her child. I'm going to pull over and put Janet in the car and take her to the library. Well, you weren't supposed to do that. Yeah, you can't do that, Aretha. So I had to start teaching and training from downstairs in the lunchroom in Verizon, where they brought the students in to be taught for the literacy program. Okay. Always, I was in the church and doing community. Always, it just warms my heart, because I was raised in community. When you did something wrong, the neighbors, you didn't know them, but they knew who you were. They knew whose kid you were. They knew your mama's name. They knew your last name. And that's who you're supposed to represent every time you took your behind out that door. Community was always in me. Just before COVID, I taught at the library in High Point cursive writing. I love cursive writing. I believe that sometimes we don't realize that because we think it doesn't matter today, it's not going to matter down the road. Well, if it doesn't matter down the road, why is it in their communities still teaching cursive writing? Ooh. It's embarrassing when I ask my grandson to sign his taxes and he can't. And I said, guess what? No problem. Grandma gonna hold a class for my grandsons. We're gonna teach you cursive writing. And if you don't need it, guess what? It's still a plus.
Yes.
Okay. I love teaching about finances. We don't even question our taxes unless we gotta pay. And then when you say, well, this is 195, why so much? How does my grandson say for the first time he got his taxes done? He said, Grandma, how does taxes work? I said, good. I'm doing a class. You in?
I know that's right.
I love it.
It's our community. We have to remember, we're so busy saying, well, the teachers aren't doing this. The teachers didn't have to do it when we grew up. It started at home. All the teachers had to do was touch it up a little bit. Now they got to start it from the beginning. They got to end it. Then they got to follow you. No. Community. I don't care if the parents are 15. I was 16 when I had Rashim. Stop judging and criticizing. Put a helping hand out. Extend it to help. And I know it's crazy out there. Figure out a place where they would have to come so that you can teach them there. Make sense?
Absolutely, it makes sense.
So community, we've got to get back to community. That's the only way we're going to survive what's about to come right now.
Come on now.
Okay? We're not talking about 100 years from now. We're talking about this year. Prepare them.
Yeah.
Stop the young people from spending their little money they're making. Okay? They need to learn what to do with money. As a matter of fact, do they even know how to define it? I put a course together. You know what I called it?
What's that?
Selfie. Do you even know selfie?
Powerful. Powerful.
We say
Come
we
on now,
love
y'all. Listen.
Mm, mm, mm.
Powerful.
You
Now
know?
this is everyday conversations, y'all. When I
Yeah.
tell you how blessed I am to have connection with Miss Aretha, I'm just
Thank
super
you.
excited that you said yes to us, because
Thank
there
you.
have been so many nuggets that you shared with us so far. And I just want us to get into one more question before we move into some other parts of the show. But
Okay.
I know that you've had businesses. You talk and teach a lot about not just finances and taxes, but business and business structure. What has been maybe one of the biggest challenges that you've either faced yourself or seen being faced by many business owners over the years of you teaching and learning and sharing knowledge with the community?
I would say during COVID, I didn't get the opportunity to stay home. I worked for an accountant, and what I did was I handled the business accounts. I was able to talk to the entrepreneurs that we had that were doing taxes with us to help them get the PPP and the EIDL. And that's when I realized that we want to be entrepreneurs, but we don't understand the structure of having a correct business so that we are in place for growth and development. Many of us did not know that because a person works for you, they're not your employee. They are your contractor. That's the person you give a 1099 to. They're not your employee unless you're paying into Uncle Sam's system. If you're not paying into the system, you don't have no employees, which knocked a lot of our business out of the ballpark for getting sufficient dollar. You weren't set up properly. And then what got me was a lot of entrepreneurs that come in and they start talking about, and this was from my teaching. Everybody wants to be entrepreneurs, but a lot of them were telling me they want to be entrepreneurs because they don't want to work for nobody. Well, guess what? When you become an entrepreneur, you work for so many people. The pressure is on you. You don't get to be home being sick. Because it's you. When you stay home and stay in the bed, your business is going under because you're the only one. You don't have any employees. You haven't even trained anybody because you're scared they're going to take your ideas. So you don't have anybody that can carry. We talk about legacy. If you don't train them now, when you die, they don't need it. They're going to sell it.
Come on.
They don't want to learn it. They need to learn it and show you they know how to do it while you are yet among the living. So our businesses, and another area that's really, really bad for me is the entrepreneurs that have no, and I mean capital N, capital O, no interpersonal skills. I'm paying you $100 for your service and you talking to me like I'm dirt under your feet? Are you kidding? When I go in a restaurant, I'm always looking for opportunity to teach. I'll say to you, Karen, excuse me, Karen, are you okay today? You having a good day? You say, yeah. I say, can I share something with you? If you say no, then mum's the word. Shut up, Retha. She don't want to hear from you.
Right.
Now, if you say, yeah, I'm going to teach you how to treat me. I need you every now and then to look over at me. I don't want to have to raise my hand and flag you like you some kind of, no, you're not that kind of server. But if you look at me, I can say, shake my head, or I can show you what I need. Because guess what? When I get ready to leave, I'm going to make sure you get a good tip.
That's right.
And if you don't like the way I look, you need to make my head look like a dollar sign. That's who I am to you, right?
Yes.
You got to play the game, man.
Yeah. I love it. Y'all, this has been, I promise you, I told y'all this time was going to go fast because why? When you get in nuggets, I promise you, I tell this to Miss Aretha all the time. She don't even understand like the blessing that she is just with the Karen. Karen, listen, Karen. I promise that and these are conversations, and I'm like, yes, Miss Aretha, yes. What we doing? Because when wisdom enters the room, I gotta say this because I don't care what the age is, Miss Aretha. You know this. When we get in the presence of people who are giving, who want to give back, and we snatch, but don't receive, because it's a difference. If you're sitting there and receiving, there's a blessing that comes with every word, with every interaction, with, I love it as you talk about your grandkids, because I've seen it in real life. They're like, I don't know, Grandma. All right, listen, other people, and this is what sets you apart in a lot of different ways. Other people will be like, let me teach my babies what this is. You like, bring you and all your friends.
Right. That's right.
We'll teach all of y'all what it is. And so what a blessing it has been. Now, a lot of things that I know is forthcoming, and I want to share with our audience that, this was an introduction. As I mentioned, Miss Aretha Pugh-Robinson, she is the mother of Rasheem Pugh-Robinson, all of the extraordinary music, movies. One of the fun facts, and I don't think the release of the movie came out yet, but, I debuted Tilted in my first movie debut in Cake It Up.
Okay.
Now, Rooster is movie number 2 that I'm in. Now, here's the fun fact about Rooster. And I think you know this, but your son named most of the female characters after your sisters.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Y'all is in there. You gonna see it. See, because it ain't come out yet. You tell him. So now you got to get on him about getting Rooster onto the big screen. And I was like, hey, what? Because he be like, he over here texting me. He like, listen, all the names of the sisters. I promise you. And so I didn't know that at the time, but I was like, well, I know that name. Where I know that name from? Right. Okay. All his aunties is in there, because that's a powerful testament. When you think about that your son being able to pay homage to the aunties. Okay. We consider ourselves Tilted. We consider ourselves internet aunties. So we got more internet nieces and nephews. They're a little bit less expensive that way. I promise. The internet aunties, we come and we just getting in your business. Yeah. We're gonna tell you, nah, that ain't the way to do it, but we're gonna put you on some game as we move forward. But I super appreciate you saying yes to me. I know this is not our last time. We're gonna have conversations, because we are going to put some of that teaching to use. We've got an audience here that I promise you, we got things in the background. I can't tell you all of the things, but we have to be like literally from coast to coast, taking this Unhinged Live show to different places so that we can educate our communities, not just we talk about fitness, finance. This is what we call it, Miss Aretha, lifetime fine. Okay. We work lifetime fine. Not just the youngest, they say hot girl summer. Well, summer ain't for 12 weeks. We need more time than that. We're working on lifetime fine, and that means fitness and faith, making sure that we are taking these opportunities to have these wisdom nuggets. Y'all already know. Listen, Unhinged Live family, be on the lookout. We know Miss Aretha is getting some things together.
Yes, I am.
Normalize this wisdom. Y'all see what we got in the last 40 minutes? Come on now. Y'all already know. Tilted. I know, I'm about to put a different hat on, but Miss Aretha, I'm gonna say, for those who want to be in connection with you, she is on Facebook, Aretha Pugh-Robinson. You will be seeing her. If she posts anything, I promise I'm gonna be putting it in the Unhinged Live group. So y'all ain't even gotta look for her, because we're gonna put her all in your face. I truly enjoyed the opportunity to hear from you. know, I tease Rasheem all the time because I'll be like, get to the point, get to the point. These conversations is different. And he like, we both storytellers. I said, yes, I know. That's why I'm inviting her, because I want folks to understand the meat of the story of what you share with us. So we appreciate you. Y'all who are in the comment streets, we happy to see y'all here. Glad that you all could join us for Unhinged Live, and super excited. Tilted, you over there and you just letting it flow. You good.
Yes, I told y'all before we got on that I am absolutely here for all of the wisdom. And I don't know if you notice my body movement. I'm just here just receiving. And Miss Aretha, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
I know I've been blessed by what you've shared about your relationship with your sisters and how you're intentional about making sure that the waters that flow between all of you continue to flow as smoothly as possible. So thank you for sharing your gifts beyond your brothers and sisters. Thank you for sharing your gifts with the world. Thank you for sharing the nuggets. One thing I wrote down, I felt like I was sitting at the motherboard meeting, listening to the wisdom. And I wrote something down that you said that's actually going to be an interesting segue that I'm going to implement in tonight's show. You made an emphasis about the importance of teaching the youth in the community, the things that we know that they might consider useless, that could actually be of extreme benefit to them in the future. So thank you so much. Because again, as Karen just shared, we talk about being lifetime fine over here. And sometimes they may get tired of hearing us say it the way that we share it. So thank you again.
My pleasure.
Coming in and
You're very welcome.
Assaulting us with all them gems. Just assaulting us.
Thank you.
I'm not even gonna press charges. I received these. Wisdom. I will take it any day. You all are tuned into Unhinged Live. I'm your host, Nikita Tilted Halo Hansford, and I'm sitting alongside my very, very good girlfriend, Karen Sims Harrell of Twisted Threads LLC. And of course, you all just heard an outpouring of wisdom from our sister queen, Miss Aretha Pugh-Robinson. Thank you again for gracing us with your presence. We're going to move the show along, and I hope after the music break, you take some time to talk to us behind the scenes. You're more than welcome to hang out with us for the rest of the show, because it might get a little buck wild after this music break. All right, because the commentary is vicious, and it's real over here. We pride ourselves of being authentic example of what a God walk looks like over here. All right. So look, Karen, you got to put on your DJ such and such hat right now.
DJ Cash
hat on, girl. Because it's time for another music break. Y'all already know the heart of the platform. We love to feature indie artists out there that are releasing impactful sounds, impactful vibes. Listen, y'all already know we love the show to shake up in here. And check it out. I was introduced to this track by our brothers at Let's Talk Gospel on Mental Impact Radio. I like to tip into them because they broadcast at 9 p.m. every single night. Of course, I'm going to share their broadcast tonight in the Unhinged Live group, so y'all can go ahead and get to them easily and participate in the conversation. Tonight's track is by Grace the Evangelist, and the title of the track is Christ Walking. Now, let me tell you something. I lost it. I think I woke up my neighbor the way I was in here hollering like I was at the Holy Ghost Showdown. When I just listened to the lyrics that she put together. We always talk about giving our children better options of what they're listening to. Well, this one right here, the world got Sexy Red, and we got Grace the Evangelist, y'all. Listen here. She's the antidote. So, Coach Cash, you
all right. I mean, I don't need nothing. I don't need to do anything else but press play after the hypeness that you have shared. So we gonna share Christ Walking by Grace the Evangelist. Here we go. I walk by faith, not by sight. Got me Christ walking. Not afraid of that ice. Got me Christ walking. Yo, these demons in disguise. Got me Christ walking. Tell them get up out my way. What is Christ? We go Christ walking. Bible talking. Kingdom repping. Holy stepping. Praying. Fasting. Everlasting. It's God. It's God. We go Christ walking. Bible talking. Kingdom repping. Holy stepping. Praying. Fasting. It's God. It's God. We dancing. You know my life is not my own. Yeah, it's really like a reno. Life without the Zindo. Had to put down the endo. We in the last day. Final hour. The endo. I ain't got no mistake. I don't need no demo. Make it plain. God said he got plans for me. Prosper not to harm me. Future hope just like he said it be. Blessed playing tug of war. Holy Spirit got him beat. Walking like I talking. Walking. Gotta call on me. Write the vision. Make it plain. Because it's giving life. We the light of the world. You know that's giving life. Do this to the Lord. Return. Yo, that's the bread of life. He said what he said. Blood words in the red. I'ma walk in the pistol. I ain't gotta tote a pistol. Choo choo. Blow the whistle. Scratch that. You gon' really hear the trumpet sound. Ascending down from a cloud. Every knee gon' bow. I walk by faith, not by sight. Got me Christ walking. Not afraid of that ice. Got me Christ walking. Yo, these demons in disguise. Got me Christ walking. Tell them get up out my way. What is Christ? We go Christ walking. Bible talking. Kingdom repping. Holy stepping. Praying. Fasting. Everlasting. It's God. It's God. We dancing. Covered by the blood. I'm protected like a canopy. No signs of vanity. Hell steady bending me. Paul they know in Jesus too. Grace they say they cool on you. J's boots whatever flag. Treading on these serpents' neck. Scorpions they get in neck. Red bombs from hell I read. Words flowing I'm cashing checks. God with me, angels on deck. Better check your specs. Not from this world. My daddy coming back. Popping out with these hits. Cause I'm out here taking risks. Counting sheep for the slaughter. Devil steady shooting bricks. It's on sight. All he gets. Jesus is the business. I'm walking in his image. I'm not playing with these spirits. Since I live in the spirit, gotta walk in the spirit. You gon' see it, you gon' hear it. Real wise, God fearing. On this track, I ain't veering. Set go, all I'm hearing. Jumping hurdles like I fit in. Spirit fighting like I'm pinning. I walk by faith, not by sight. Got me Christ walking. Not afraid of that ice. Got me Christ walking. Yo, these demons in disguise. Got me Christ walking. Tell them get up out my way. What is Christ? We go Christ walking. Bible talking. Kingdom repping. Holy stepping. Praying. Fasting. Everlasting. It's God. It's God. We dancing. It's God. We dancing. It's God. Tell them get up out my way. What is Christ walk? All right.
Oh yeah, I just went a little ham over here. I'm hot now. See,
All that moving and jumping around. Listen.
that chair boogie got real. Thank you all so much for hanging on in here with us. We are Unhinged Live. I'm your host, Tilted Halo, sitting alongside my good girlfriend Karen Sims Harrell of Twisted Threads LLC. And I see that Miss Aretha decided to hang on out with us for a little while.
I did.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. I hope we made you feel welcome enough. That
Yes, you absolutely did. Thank you.
But listen, check it out. We're about to do a segment we haven't done in a while, Karen. Because I've been home a little bit more and I had some time to pull up and pick up my remote control.
Look what I got here.
Hold up. Let me get it. You ready?
Ready.
It's time, y'all, to point your remote control at your TV screen. Merrily, 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 merrily. Find something to stream or listen to on an audio book. Yeah, that's music. Right, y'all. It is time for us to go merrily down the stream. And this is the segment where we get to discuss and chop it up about something that we may have enjoyed on these here streaming streets, cable, something we just absolutely enjoyed entertaining ourselves, viewing pleasures. So check it out. I'm going to jump it off tonight with sharing something that I tried to watch. All right. And this might get a little deep all up in the merrily down the stream, but y'all, lend me your ear, lend me your ear. Check it out. I tried to watch the documentary that's running on Lifetime because they're gonna rerun it and it's gonna be on demand for a while now.
50 million times.
Listen, where's Wendy Williams? We saw this 4-part documentary series was released, and it was from what I've come to understand, it was supposed to be a production that showed Wendy's road back to television, road back to her place in superstardom from whence she once came. But baby, let me talk to you about how my soul was disturbed by how they allowed the cameras to roll and capture some very intimate moments that should have never been seen publicly. Wendy's an icon. Say what you want to say.
Yes,
but you got to give respect where it's due. We out here in these radio streets, and it's not easy, especially for us as women. This is the boys' club, so to speak. So I've been one to take notes from Wendy's career for years. I fell in love with her when I first relocated back to New Jersey from my time living in California. And I loved her authentic self, being on the radio, telling the truth about what she learned about what was going on in somebody else's life. She went on to go ahead and publish a biography with the assistance of a writer. Her first name was actually Karen. Karen, who knew? Yeah, notice I remember it because I ripped that book apart because I was interested to learn how Wendy became who she became. She dominated the radio airwaves in New York City. And then once her and Diddy had their little beef and she had to go run and take cover, Philly embraced her with so much love. And ultimately, she made her return to NYC radio. And then we got the Wendy Williams show experience. Listen. Sister Girl gave me the roadmap, the blueprint on exactly what it looks like to blaze your own trail, how to create your own opportunities, to simply show up in a room and things happen. People take notice. Y'all been riding with us here for quite some time here at Unhinged Live. And the goal is to continue to grow this platform authentically with our audience. And I know you see me out here in these streets. And the things that I've been sharing is simply because I've been blazing my own trail. I took some notes from Wendy and implemented them. Now, I don't have the intention to be the level of radio personality that she is, the type of personality. I'm so content in my lane. But check it out. Y'all got to show Wendy some respect. If you all listening to me Lifetime, I need y'all to do me a favor. Take that down. Y'all are so disrespectful. This is just my opinion, and this is, my platform, so I can say what I want to say.
Yes, you
Please consider taking that down, because I know what it is to be the caregiver of someone who is deteriorating because of dementia and other mental health disorders or brain injury or traumatic injury that could cause someone to lose themselves.
That's right.
Y'all shouldn't have did that to Wendy. That's my first take and my soapbox moment that had to happen during Merrily Down the Stream. Let me just go ahead and toss the mic because y'all know I got a little bit more to say. You saw what I wrote down, Karen. You saw what
I saw, and one thing I want to say, you said a lot about Wendy Williams, and it's a different situation because some of us think you only have two choices, to love her or to hate her. But there's a middle space in there where you get to respect her, respect the grind, respect that, she has been a businesswoman in a time where it was not easy. Okay, that part right there. So we give respect on that one right now. Now listen, Tilted, I don't know whether this next conversation is regular Merrily Down the Stream or ratchet Merrily Down the Stream. But y'all know we love a good story. Okay, I'm gonna say that. And so we got to talk a little bit about mea culpa.
Ooh, mea culpa, the paint. Jesus, let me get my fan.
And so we don't always name the names of the streaming services because they not yet sponsors. But if they decide to sponsor us, we'll name your name for where the people can find it. But this one was starring Kelly Rowland, and y'all know we love Kelly. We love Kelly Rowland from Destiny's Child and her standing on her own, and she done been in the television movies and different type of movies for a while now. You know, Merry Little Christmas and that whole Mary Had a Baby. Oh, it's a whole bunch of them. That go over there on the Hallmark channel. You know, because we like to see our stories in those channels as well at the holiday times as well. But now this mea culpa.
Lord God.
Good Father. The amount of different types of ratchetness that was okay. Can we label it ratchetness? Because it was for those of you who haven't watched, it ain't really too many spoilers we could share, except for it is a story of a lawyer who is Kelly plays a lawyer, and she's defending somebody who is accused of murder. And then, as always with these type of stories, the truth unfolds. We see craziness coming out of every which way. In some of these movies, it be the mama that's crazy. This one wasn't no different. It was the mama that was crazy, with some sons who were a different level of mama's boys. Because I got Miss Aretha, I got a couple of mama's boys on my side over here.
Okay.
But they don't do what I say, like these young boys did with what they mama said. She had a plan, and it was just crazy. But a good storyline, I have to say that. A lot of surprises and things that I love a good storyline that I can't predict. How about that?
Okay.
So
yes.
It wasn't a predictable story. Now, crazy was crazy, and the crazy showed up probably in the places where you thought it was. Here's my one challenge, Tilted. You know, they had a fine black brother. I think I'm
Trevante. His name Trevante.
Yeah. Trevante. Okay.
What is that? Trevante? Is it Trevante Rhodes?
I don't know what his name is.
I'm sorry. I'm
not allowed. I don't know what his name is. But a fine brother, okay? With all of the accoutrements that y'all need. I lock down and I respect.
I will look for you. I'm single.
But we got to see this story, and I had a moment, Tilted, where he was portraying a very domineering partner, where it was like, and you gonna do what I say, and it wasn't abuse, but it was I got a little bit lost because I wanted Kelly to tell him off. You know, I wanted, Mia was her name in the movie. I wanted her to tell him off. And so we eventually got to that part where she was like, sir, I'm playing no games with you. And then I was able to watch, you know how like certain of when you watch a movie or a show and your sha-na-na just get all out of whack. It's like, oh, no, you ain't coming over here with that man. This who you talking to? What? And then she said him straight, and I was like, oh, okay, now I can watch the rest of the movie. So, you know, it kind of gave me heart palpitations, but not for none of the reasons that maybe the others. Heart palpitations. That part. Us. Okay, the y'all. Y'all. All in all, it was a good movie, and I appreciated I appreciate the writing. How about you on that one?
I like how you put that. You appreciated the writing, because paint can be used to write. That's what how I'm gonna put that in there. Y'all know what I'm talking about if y'all saw that movie. Paint can be used for writing, and I promise you,
paint was a supporting character.
The paint showed up on the canvas on which it was imprinted by the actions that were taking place. Is that the best way to say it? I did good.
Yeah, we won't get no fines. We won't get no fines for you saying it.
No fines. I keep telling y'all I'm not getting no dings from Mark Zuckerberg and then behind the scenes. All right.
That was good.
Get these words real quick so y'all know what I'm saying. But yeah, that movie had the whole internet ablaze this past week. And the last time I checked, it had 16 million streams, and I just went on Miss Kelly's timeline and let her know I'm finna run it again to make sure it hits 17 million. Because again, coming out of Black History Month and then rolling right into Women's History Month, we gotta make sure that we keep representation of us
right now
in the forefront. All right. So yeah, check it out. Did you have anything that you watched this week, Miss Aretha, that you want to talk to us about?
Yes, I watched a very good movie. It was called Unthinkably Good Things.
Okay.
It was a romance story, but it was about three good friends, and one ended up moving to Italy. And the way they supported one another was awesome. And I loved the ending, the way everything worked out. Actually, the main character was a teacher at A&T. How about that?
Wow.
Yeah, she was a professor. Well, that's what they showed. She worked there.
Gotcha.
And she was over in Italy.
Nice.
Learning more about teaching the art of creative writing. So it was good.
All right.
Yeah. What was the name of that? I'm writing down your recommendations.
Unthinkably Good Things.
Unthinkably Good Things.
I see we got Lance Gross in that movie too. You know, not that I'm shouting out just the, chocolate that might be there, but we got some good actresses as well that is over there in the movie. So I ran across that, so I'm gonna have to press play when I see that. Now, I was listening tilted to one thing that I wanted to share real quick, because my last trip to Orlando, I got to visit our former GSC, now the Movement Church contingency in Orlando. And so it was like a little bit of a family reunion, but they were sharing one of the books that they were reading. And it is called The Bait of Satan. And the reason why I'm sharing this is because, one, it was just a really, really good book. I listened to it via audio, but it was talking about the what happens when we take offense to different things. So it's sort of like debate that kind of makes us angry at people that we shouldn't be angry at. We're upset and going around in the world because things didn't go the way that we wanted them to go, but really talking about how we can live free from the deadly trap of offense. And so it was kind of really mind-blowing, the timing that I had the opportunity to read it, but it really just dug into what things we need to be asking ourselves, because a lot of time, offense, we call it one thing, but it actually is us showing our arrogance in a lot of times. So, we expect you should have did so and so and so, and you didn't do that. So The Bait of Satan, that is John Bevere. And I know it's in books and audio and a bunch of other things. And so we get the opportunity to share. So we looking at movies. Let me see. So we hearing about Unthinkably Good Things. Natural D is in the comment streets tilted, so I can't ignore that our sister is there.
Not at all. Not a hey D, how you doing, beautiful? We miss you, girl. Call me.
Call. You don't have to call. No. You mentioned Terry Vaughn directed the Unthinkably Good Things, and so that is one that I'm gonna need to get at. And she also, she got some snatching advice over here. She said, side note, I need Miss Aretha's glasses, please. Y'all know we are here for some good eyewear, if nothing.
We love our frames. That's it.
We are here for some good eyewear. Thank you, Natural D, for blessing our streets, keeping the conversations going. And yeah, that's what we got. That is what we got.
All right. That's all right. So thank you all for tuning in. We are Unhinged Live. Thank you again. And hello to all of our replay viewers that are listening. We appreciate you over here at Unhinged Live. And I hope you are getting your chuckle on, because we thrive to present an absolute joy tsunami. You get a little bit of this.
Yeah.
You get a little bit of that. just continue to hang on out with us, and ride the wave. I want to go ahead and take a quick station break and shout out our sister, Veronica Moore, on the amazing Black children's author panel that they held on this past Saturday. Of course, y'all know I was in the building, and I look forward to connecting with our sister Veronica in the future to do some great things here in the Lehigh Valley. I want to talk to y'all about something that they have going on this Friday over at the Taste Smokers at 5:30. Yes, they are actually having a seed swap. Veronica is very well known in our community as the Black Plant Mama. And some of the things that we heard discussed on Saturday was people can grow things. We all have the ability to grow. And this is something that is basically the basis of the books that were featured in the conversation on Saturday. So on Friday, they're having a seed swap. Seed swap, that means if you got some pumpkin seeds, bring them down, give them to somebody. Wow. It's a way to spark a conversation. If you got some cucumber seeds, some collard green seeds, come on down and check it out. The word was put out. If you don't have any seeds, come get some anyway. Come and just tap into the energy in our community. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Taste Smokers is actually located at 318 East 3rd Street in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. So if you don't have anything on your schedule on Friday evening, if you ain't out there birthday celebrating, a boo loving, go on down and connect with some of our people. And especially as Miss Aretha said earlier in conversation, as we prepare for what's coming next, one of the things I really hope we all can get back to, and I'm really hard on myself about this too, because I'm trying, but I ain't doing well enough, in my opinion. We all really need to get back to growing our own food. It would eradicate many of the different ailments that we're all walking through and experience if we truly lived a more organic life. So check it out. You know her name, Veronica Moore. Look for her on Facebook. Connect with her, our Black Plant Mama. Seed swap at the Taste Smokers, 5:30 on Friday evening. And we finna move the conversation right along.
Check.
Oh, check. Microphone check. 1 2 1 2. What's really going on? What's really going on? What's really going on?
What's really going?
What's really going on?
What's really going?
What's really going on?
On and on and on and on and on. On and on and on and on and on. Hey.
What's really going on?
What's really going on?
Yes. All right. What's really going on? We finna get into it, y'all. We're gonna do things a little bit different because I'm here for the wisdom, and I'm grateful that Miss Aretha is here with us tonight, because I just got one simple question for the both of you to help move this conversation forward.
Okay.
I'm ready to receive. Y'all know I'm greedy for the wisdom, right? It's Women's History Month. So my question to the two of you is, if there was one historical woman that you can sit and have a conversation with, a woman, who would it be?
For me, I think it would be Madam C. Is it Wells? Who did the hair care?
C.J. Walker?
C.J. Walker.
That's who I want to sit and talk to, because we've been so far removed. Even though a lot of us are doing the natural, we really still ended up with items in our hair that wasn't natural, that wasn't good for us, that's still damaging our hair. And I would like to talk to Madam C.J. Walker, because not only did she come up with the product, she had a fight. And she had the faith that it was just in her. It was, I liken that to, when you have something that's a burning desire, don't talk about it. Because when you talk about it, it's like you've done it, but you've done nothing but talk about it.
Mhm.
That thing burned up in her, and she made it happen for many. And it's interesting how the gifts and the blessings that we get, that God has endowed us with, are always for other people,
I know that's right.
not for ourselves.
Love
Oh.
that. Love that. Love that. Well, I'm a chime in. Probably no surprise. I think Maya Angelou is one.
Yes.
And I remember reading her stories as a preteen.
Mhm.
And I just thought, like, who lives this type of life that you are in Africa, you in Ohio, you in
Yes.
California, so it always inspired me to understand that we get to create and recreate existence
mhm.
over and over again. And so that was one of the things. Powerful words, beautiful person.
Yes.
She did just about every job you could
Yeah.
think about, but that resilience of saying, I'm going to show up for my family and do what's necessary, like that was always a piece of her that I admire kind of the most. So having a conversation with her, because she literally is a wisdom manufacturer. We're going to call her wisdom warehouse with so
I
many
like that
things.
Wisdom Warehouse.
And understanding that it wasn't that life was easy for her.
Mhm.
But you know what you've talked about, Miss Aretha, the perseverance, the resilience that it took
Mhm.
to be like, oh, okay, I'm in a bad situation. I'm almost homeless. I am homeless. I'm
Mhm.
dealing with a difficult situation.
Right.
How do I move from that place and then shut that door so we're not going
Yeah.
there again? So that's my conversation.
But Karen, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Have you ever been in her presence?
I have not, ma'am.
Let me just quickly say this.
Ooh.
Every 2 years, I would go to the Black Arts Festival down in Atlanta. I did that for 10 years. It was like I was going to Black Mecca every 2 years.
Mm,
When you walk in a room, and I've been in her presence 2 or 3 times.
wow.
When you walked, first of all, when you were in the room and when she walked in the room, the presence of God was before her. I mean, her presence and all she had been through. I saw her in Winston-Salem. It was the same thing. The closer I got to her, you could feel the presence of God on her. I mean, it was just so powerful. I said, to go through all that, to write all that, to stay in such a humble state during her life,
Yeah.
and still carry the aura of God. I mean, that woman,
Yes.
woo,
Love
nothing
it.
like her. Nothing
I'm
like
here for it. I am here for it.
Yes.
Mhm.
All right, Tilted, I gotta ask you, I gotta throw the question back at you. What woman are you gonna be talking to?
I would actually like to have a conversation with the judge, Deborah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
now
I want to talk to old girl.
talk about it.
I want to talk to her because I really want to know what it was like. I want the details, the sister girl conversation from her of what it was like to be dealing with them stiff-necked Israelites on the way to the promised land. In a male-dominated society, the Lord choseth her.
Yes.
All right, to speak a word of deliverance. She was what? One of the only female judge prophetess. Okay.
Yes.
How about that? Talk to her because I can imagine she would be able to give me some wisdom nuggets on what it is to be a prophet not accepted in your own land.
Yes.
What it is to be a female prophet that the male contingency feels like it's their inherent right to disrespect, even though God chose me before the beginning of time. I need encouragement from Sister Deborah.
Come Come through. Spit them bars. Come
That's
through.
who I need to talk.
Come through. I feel like we just got to the views of the petty pew. We didn't mean to, but here we are. What's really going on?
It's a mention of the conversation, but that's really real. It is Women's History Month. And not for nothing, I can't share details, but I got a situation where I feel like I've been dismissed because I am female. And not for nothing, this isn't the first time I've walked into this ugly monster. And I'm absolutely certain that it will not be the last. But one thing I do know is that every last woman, we need to call these great names. I guess this is why I was led to ask you all that question. This conversation was supposed to go a whole nother way, but then God had me write something else down.
All right.
We got Sister Maya Angelou. I can imagine there are countless others in our listening audience that can share just one work of hers that changed their life forever. Madam C.J. Walker, she the reason why we walking around here bad and beautiful. Okay. and that we take full ownership of every strand that God has put on top of our heads. We got kinks, curls, waves, weaves, we got dark seas, we got Madam C.J. Walker that taught us that it was okay for us to be expressive through our hair. And she also left us that roadmap of what it is to be a woman entrepreneur in a time when it wasn't really the best place for her to be in. That wasn't her lane, but she stood there boldly and she blazed the trail for all of us. Now, we're not all hairstylists. We're not all, poets and writers and, all these great literary people. But who we are is exactly who God created us to be. Fearfully, wonderfully. Look, phenomenal woman. That's me. And you, and that would be. And listen, I could go on and on and on. I am a champion for the cause of women, whether they are yellow, red, black, or white. Every last one of y'all are precious in God's sight and mine too. And listen, I'm not one of those sister friends that you could see walking that's going to let you walk through a struggle without trying to lend you a helping hand. So can we get back to what Miss Aretha was talking about at the top of the show? Can we get back to supporting our sisters sincerely and authentically? Because your power doesn't intimidate me. If anything, it makes me stronger to know that I have some bold and beautiful sisters walking right by my side. How about that?
Awesome.
I love it. I'm here for it. Let's go.
Let's go. We got some more show. I'm looking at the clock and I just want to make sure that we don't overrun the time because we got to get to this reflections of purpose. But, again, I want to thank you all for tuning in. We are Unhinged Live. I'm your host, Tilted Halo, sitting alongside my good girlfriend, co-host extraordinaire. All right. She helps me steer this ship and keep things going. Coach Cash herself. Karen Sims Harrella, Twisted Threads LLC. And we got sitting in with us tonight the beautiful sister queen, Miss Aretha Pugh-Robinson. Thank you for hanging in here with us. And thank you for your input in this conversation. So listen, we done made you feel welcome tonight. I hope you grace us with your presence again, because I'm excited about your contribution to the community and what that's going to manifest in this harvest season. I've had the opportunity to, chop it up with your son. And I'm going to say he get it from his mama.
Thank
you. Well done.
Say that again. He get it from where?
He get it from his mama.
Right there.
He get it from his mama. Yeah, I said it machine in my inbox, okay?
Thank you.
Love it.
So check it out, y'all. Y'all know what it is. I need y'all to get your hearts and your heads ready to receive what our sister is putting down on this evening. Come on in the room and be blessed by this word, this reflection of purpose coming from our very own in-house master life coach, Karen, Coach Cash, Sims Harrell. Come on, sis. Take it away.
Listen, what an amazing show we had. Y'all know, as I always do, I'm coming with a title. And this one has changed a couple of times because you know how I always do. It's like, Lord, what's the message you want to give to people? Because I could say anything, but anything ain't what you need. And so today's title is Click Your Turning Signal.
Yes.
On your turning signal. And this is a reminder to many of us that y'all know you're supposed to be doing something. And just like you in the car, there's a pre-announcement to say, I'm about to shift gears. I'm going another way. Now, for those of y'all who don't use your turning signal, this message may or may not be for you, but this side eye sure is using. For the rest of us, we've been on a straight course. We're seeing the direction that we're going, and we know that there's some good things coming up ahead, but then there are obstacles that come, and sometimes we think we got to stay on one path and that there's no opportunity for the shift to come, that there's no opportunity for the turnaround to be our portion. I want to remind you, click on your turning signal. Why? Because it's about to be a shift in your own life. You have the power to drive in a different direction. You know, one of the greatest gifts that God has given us is the gift of choice. We get to choose whether today was today in enough for us and we'll stay on the course, or whether today didn't really give us the spice that we wanted and we put some of that slap your mama or some of that Tony's on it. Click on that turning signal so that we can announce that there's a shift that's about to happen. For many of us, we know this week coming up, we're about to turn these clock back, forward, something. I don't know what we're about to do with it, but it's going to be more daylight outside. That's what we're going to do. Listen, my clocks change automatically, so I'm really technically not turning nothing. When the alarm sets for like 7, 8 o'clock, we do something different. I crack up because here's the deal. Some of the things that we've been doing, yes, there was a season that we needed to keep it to ourselves. We couldn't share with anybody because it was still in that infancy stage. So, you know, a lot of times when you are pregnant with a baby, they tell you, don't tell nobody till you get about 6, 8 weeks. Some of y'all new age parents, they probably tell y'all longer. I'm not really sure why, but okay, go with whatever the doctor told you. But we would normally kind of keep it to ourselves during that gestational period. One, because we still trying to figure out, wait, is there human in there? That part. We trying to figure some things out, but also to allow the family to know, the people closest to you. Maybe you don't got to tilt your halo or a Miss Aretha in your corner. Those people who you can watch and see them just being great in their normal lives. Many of us have disqualified ourselves because we think that the spaces that we are occupying is too small. But I want to remind you that if you are 18-wheeler, even when you put that turning signal on, you sometimes got to swerve into the next lane. Some of us are not driving 18-wheelers. We in our Mercedes Benz. Do you want to ride in my? Okay, not you. That's a song.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was ready.
I sing that song to my husband because you know he the reason I got a Mercedes. So I pull up like, you want to ride in my Mercedes, boy? Listen, we got to put on that turn signal because what's just around the bend is something exciting for us. It's something worthy of the excitement to make a mini announcement. Listen, you putting on your turning signal, it's not telling the world. It's telling the people closest to you, I'm about to make a shift. I'm about to put this in full gear, and I need you all to be able to move in that shift with me. That's the most important part. Make sure you got people around you who are able to shift when you shift. When I move, you move. Just like that. Come on now. You already know she an insider. She know the words because this is the way that we talk. Get those people who are ready to move when you click on your turning signal. They're not going to tell you, no, you're going the wrong way. No, don't go that way. No, I got a easier way. No, I got a shortcut. Some of us got to take the way that God has put inside of us, even if it's not the shortcut. Even if you got to go the long way to get to where you go, and know this. Sometimes it's not the traveling, but it sure is the landing. We're about to land in some amazing places. So get your shoes, get your dress, make sure your hair, get your extra flowers, get all of the things. Why? Because as soon as we put that turning signal on and with that whip around that corner, what is about to celebrate us? Come on now, y'all know my favorite part. Honey, it's time for the cake. We about to celebrate. And you know, Coach Cass tell you all the time, if I'm not here for nothing else, I am here for the entire cake. And I want to celebrate you, each and every one of you, that you felt that turning of the corner and you really weren't sure what the next step is. Go ahead, click on your turning signal, and let's prepare for the great manifestation that we are about to walk into. So listen, y'all know we always say here, stay ready, so we ain't got to get ready. We staying ready. So I'm already here with my fork and knife. I got my water already by my side so we could jug it down. Tilted, click on your turning signal. I'm flipping it back over to you.
Sis, what kind of cake is this finna be, girl? Are you excited?
I'm excited.
I wonder, is it gonna be my favorite kind of cake?
What kind of cake is your cake?
You know I like that Death by Chocolate. You know I love that Death by Chocolate.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I feel like it's a multi-layered cake.
Oh yeah, 5 at least.
Layers of different types of chocolate with the chocolate mousse and
the
then
dark chocolate. 5 layers.
What y'all doing?
Yes.
Look what y'all doing to me.
Cake. So check it out, y'all. Hey, the time is drawn. We got to close the show. It has been an amazing conversation.
Yes,
thank you again, Miss Aretha, for hanging out with us.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you to everyone in these comments streets. I see y'all out there. Thank you. I gotta give Karen, thank you. You already know what it is, girl. So check it out. I gotta give that Just Be outro because you know one of my prayers as a youth growing up the way I did was I've always just wanted to just be. So I want y'all to know that's where that comes from. When I encourage you all to just be, that comes from a place where in my life where I felt like I wasn't allowed to simply just be. So right now, I want to encourage you to simply just be still. Sometimes it's okay not to be in the heart of the rat race. Sometimes it's okay to simply just be still. So you can have the opportunity to realign your vision as our sister was talking about in her reflection of purpose. You got to be ready to whip around that corner, prepare to pivot. So make sure you take the time during this season of transition between winter and spring to just be still. We got summer planning to plan for. We've got fall event goals to plan for. And that really requires us to sit down and be still, to receive the download from the Heavenly Father to give us clarity in the vision that He would have us to manifest in this season of right now that so many of us are called to just be in. So please just be still. It's okay to take a rest and get right back at it. Listen, it's your girl Tilted Halo, Coach Cash with Miss Aretha. We are unhinged and it's a wrap. We out.
All right. It's a wrap.
Till next time.